For this practice, folks, I'd like to invite you to start lying down on your back. In this practice today, we will focus on the little things, the small details that make a big difference in a yoga practice. So let's start right away with this. As you're lying on your back, bend your knees the way you would if you were coming into bridge pose, and take your toes out to the edges of your mat. So step your feet a little bit wider than they normally would be for bridge. And then drop your knees inward. So your knees kind of form this teepee or this tent, which might create a little less stress in the low back. And just as you need to, bring maybe one hand to your belly, just so you can feel belly breathing. And start to do that. Start to loosen those belly muscles. And as you inhale, let your belly come up into your hands. And as you exhale, just feel that soft coming inward of your abdominal muscles. Establish a slow, gentle rhythm with your breath. In and out. Notice what happens if you move your hand just 1 inch in one direction or another. Notice that you can feel breath slightly differently there. The tiny shifts are going to make a big difference in our practice today. Continue this steady, slow breath as you draw your knees into your chest. And take a moment here to just move around on your back. Your head resting, your shoulders relaxed. One hip pressing into the mat and then the other, just side to side. With your lips closed together, just put a small smile, like a little grin on the inside of your lips. And notice how that softens the muscles of your face. Bring your feet back to the mat, and we'll start to inhale slowly up into bridge pose. So on the inhale, the tailbone comes up, then hips, and we lift up to shoulders. Exhale to roll down, one vertebra at a time. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lower, moving at your own pace. We want to see if we can feel each vertebra moving separately by itself as we make our way up and down. And when you notice those places that feel a little sticky or chunky, slow down through there. Create a little more space. One more time, lift and lower. Resting your back on the floor, take a deep breath in. On the exhale, tuck your chin up to your chest. Take a hold of the back of your legs and draw yourself up to a seat. If you have something to sit on, a cushion, or even a chair, you're welcome to grab that here. We'll be sitting for a few stretches. So again, coming to that belly breath, that expansion and contraction. We spend so much of our lives forcing our bellies to stay in. Yoga invites us to breathe into expansion, just let your belly out. You can think of that, a Buddha belly. Out and in. And keep that slow breath going as you drop your left hand to the mat. Inhale the right arm up. And exhale into a stretch that feels perfect for your side body. And bring your right shoulder back a little bit so it's really a sideways stretch, not a forward fold. Let your belly move with breath here. Return to center, plant your right hand, lift your left, reach tall through the side, and breathe. Come back to center. We're going to go over one more time with a slight difference, just one tiny little change. And all we're going to do is bend our elbow. Just move that one joint and see what happens there. Notice that that changes the posture, brings the sensation into different body parts. Come back to center, plant the right, lift the left, and then just bend the elbow. As the elbow points up, the hands relax down. Move that sensation into the arm, the tricep. On your next inhale, reach the left fingers high and cross your body. Bring the hand to the knee and the right arm wraps behind you, coming into a twist. We'll take 3 deep belly breaths here. You might start to hear the sound of your breath. It's making a whisper sound inside of your ears. And as we return back to center, raise your right arm. Let the arm cross the body. Left arm sweeps behind. 3 belly breaths here. Soften your face. Keep that soft smile inside your lips. And return to center. Roll the shoulders. We're going to come around to a tabletop position. So if you like to use padding under your knees, a folded blanket works beautifully for that. This is a really hard tile floor, so I'm going to use a folded blanket. You're welcome to fold your mat. We're going to start with a cat-cow. Press your hands into the mat, but spread your fingers a little wider. Push the earth away from you as your shoulder blades open up. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale round into cat. Inhale, moving from your tailbone, lift into cow. The head moves last. Exhale, tailbone to crown. Noticing the tiny spaces between the vertebrae. Can you slow down through the places that want to move together in one large chunk? Move the spine like a string of pearls, moving individually. One more time. And as we round our bodies down into cat, extend one leg back. Let's do the left leg. Extend your left leg back, press into your left heel, and round through your shoulders. So getting both a calf stretch and an upper back stretch. Return to neutral. Inhale, lift your leg and reach the right arm forward. Eyes stay down toward the mat. Reach your body out long in 2 directions. Deep breaths. And then return the hand and the knee to the mat. Wiggle out your hips. Inhale. Exhale, round your spine. And extend your right toes behind you. Press your heel into the earth and round your upper back. Deepen your breath. Feel this slight change, just a little different. A calf stretch added to your cat. And then inhale, neutral spine, right leg comes up, left arm reaches forward. Breathe here. Low belly firm. Spine long, core strong. And then release your hand to the mat, drop your knee, widen up the knees and press your hips back into child's pose. The hands walk forward, the head lowers down. You can use a block if you like to place your forehead on. It feels nice to have that brow point resting on something. Come back to the belly breath. These little details in a practice are serving the purpose of bringing our attention down here into the body, giving us something for the monkey mind to pay attention to. The little tiny shifts, when they're different than the norm, become interesting for our brain. And so we're not as distracted with the external or the busyness of the mind. Let's raise up again to tabletop and lift into downward facing dog. And if that doesn't feel good to your body, stay on your knees. We'll just use this time to move again through the body, this time heels pressing down, calves stretching. After you wiggle around a little bit, take your feet hips distance apart, press through the front of your palms and lift your sitting bones. You can bend your knees as much as you need to. Breathe here. Everybody take a deep breath in, loud exhale. And then slowly walk your feet forward to meet your hands. Come into Ragdoll and your feet will be a little bit wider, fingers touching elbows. Invite your spine to get a little longer here and then just sway. Your knees can bend enough to feel your belly resting on your thighs. Let yourself sigh. And with fingertips on the floor, bend your knees even more and lengthen out through the crown of the head. So we've got this nice little squat thing going here. All 10 fingertips on the floor. Inhale to reach one arm out in front of you. Exhale, lower. Inhale, switch. Exhale, lower. Have a different movement. Inhale, one arm lifts. And lower. Notice where you're feeling strength, where you're feeling resistance. So one more time, each arm. And then bring your hands to your knees. Press yourself up to standing. Come into Tadasana, mountain pose. Feet hip distance apart. Palms forward. Lift your heart, lift your chin. Breathe here. On the inhale, reach your arms overhead. On the exhale, swing your arms and bend your knees, sit back. Beautiful. Inhale, lift. Exhale, swing. And let's make that a little bit more energized. So let's force the exhale. And with that forced exhale, that invites us to breathe in a little more vigorously. Do 3 more. And then inhale the arms up, step even wider, take a hold of one wrist and stretch up and over that side. Let your breath catch up. Drop the arm, keep the side bend. If this hurts your back, support yourself with a hand here at the hip. Good. On the exhale, circle your face. Come back to neutral, palms forward. Inhale up. Grab opposite wrist, stretch up and over. Fill your body with breath. Nice. Keep the side body stretch. Drop the arm to the leg or the hip and breathe. Perfect. Let the arm cross the face and come back to neutral, mountain pose. Bringing the feet back to hips distance apart. I'd like you to picture in your mind a foosball table. You know, the table with the handles and the little guys on the foosball table. And you turn the handles and the guys tilt, right? Maybe they're girls. I'd like you to imagine that you have that handle going right through your hips. And so as we turn that handle, you hinge from the hips and come back up. So I want you to try that, because what we'd like to avoid is coming forward like this. So instead, the spine is tall, the chest is lifted, the tailbone reaches back. So practice a few of those hinges from the hips. The hip is a ball and socket joint, and we just want to make sure that the movement is happening there, and we're taking the spine with us, the whole spine. Let's do that one more time. Hinging from the hips. It might feel a little different. As we get forward, let's bring hands to shins. Press onto your shins, lengthen through the crown of your head, and feel your hamstrings. On the next exhale, fold forward, let your hands come down to the earth. Walk back to downward facing dog. So for our friends who are new to yoga today, we're going to shift forward and drop our knees to the mat. Once again, press your hands into the earth, open your shoulder blades the way we did earlier, and then bend your elbows so that the elbows point back as you lower your thighs, your belly, and your chin to the earth. And then just inhale up into cobra. This is a little back bend, no weight in the hands. Breathe here. As we lower the chin, we'll press back into child's pose. And we'll do that flow 2 more times just to memorize that in our bodies. That's called a vinyasa, 4 poses linked together. Inhale, come forward on your knees. Exhale, elbows point back, stop halfway down. Melt your body to the earth. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, child's pose. Go one more time. Inhale, come forward on your knees, spin your elbows. Exhale, lower halfway down. Inhale, melt to the earth. Come up to cobra. And exhale back, child's pose. Breathe here and just notice your belly expanding again. Catch your breath. And come into downward facing dog. Let's take our feet a little bit wider in downward facing dog and put a bend in one knee and then the other. Just let the heel come up off the earth. Let the knee bend. Feel a little stretch around the outer edges of your hips. And then here's a fun little Monday challenge for you. Put your weight back into your heels, lift your toes. You can bend your knees a little. Pick one hand up off the mat and then switch. Do that one more time on each side. Just noticing where the strength is in your body. And release. The feet come back together. Take a slow walk forward. Lift again from the hips halfway and rise all the way to standing. And hopefully that got your body a little bit warmer. Hands come to heart center. Sink down into chair. Breathing here in chair, you can keep your hands close or open them wide or reach them overhead. If you'd like a little challenge today, come up onto the balls of your feet. Find your breath. Connect with some detail in the body. What are you noticing? Good. If your heels are lifted, drop them. Bring your hands to your heart. Sit a little lower and we'll twist to the right side. So the left elbow comes across the body. An option for this is the hand to the knee instead of the elbow. Either way. Come into your twisting chair. Feel the heat and the work happening in your body and find some small detail to give your attention to. Breathe in, breathe out to fold forward. Nod your head yes, shake your head no. And then bend your knees again, lift your spine, hands come to heart center, and we'll twist toward the left side. You can bring the hand to the knee or the elbow. Yoga is never about pushing or forcing, right? It's about listening to your body and choosing moment by moment the small details that make it satisfying and safe. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Press your hands to your shins, lift halfway, and exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take a vinyasa, shift forward. You can stay on your toes or drop your knees, lower halfway. And then when you inhale, it's either cobra, or if you'd like to choose upward facing dog, it's feet on the floor, legs off the floor, glutes engaged. Exhale back, downward facing dog. As we shift forward, drop your left knee to the ground and swing your right leg around into a kneeling lunge. And you can make any adjustments, put padding under that knee. Drop your hips in a way that feels safe. Find your breath. Notice the difference between your back foot flat and your back toes tucked. You might try both and choose the one that feels best to your back knee. Bring your hands to the knee and press yourself to an upright position. So straight up and down, the knee and the shoulder in a nice straight line. And then use your hands to help you lean back into a little bit of a back bend. Shifting forward, bring your hands to the floor, tuck your back toes if they're not already, and rise up, high lunge. Just pressing into your back toes, lifting that back knee away from the floor, chest rises, breath deepens. And then lower the hands to the mat. Downward facing dog. And let's take that vinyasa. Shift forward, knees or toes. Lower down. Rise to cobra or upward facing dog. We'll meet in downward facing dog. As we shift forward, the right knee comes to the earth. Left leg swings around into a kneeling lunge. Make your adjustments. Good, and then let's explore on this side because the sides are different, right? So foot flat or toes tucked. Your knee probably has a preference. And once you've settled that for yourself, use your front knee to help you rise up to a tall, straight posture on one knee and then press back. Use your hands to help you back bend a little. Shoulders on your back, heart forward. And release, hands to mat. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. We'll take one more vinyasa. That just helps us maintain the heat. It helps us work on upper body strength. Keeps our mind here, present. Let's meet in downward facing dog. Dropping the left knee again, let's swing the right foot forward. And we'll move into the hamstrings. Everybody loves some good hamstring work. So shifting backwards, straighten your front leg. You can fold something up under this knee. That's always helpful. Walk your hands forward. We're going to notice some small things here. So first of all, point your toes. And notice what that creates for you. Pull your toes back. And notice what happens there. It's just like a laboratory. We're just investigating, experimenting. Turn your toes in like a windshield wiper. And turn your toes out. And come back to center and do all four of those. Point, flex, rotate in, rotate out. Point, flex, in and out. One more time. And then we'll bend the knee again, tucking the back toes, lift the knee. Drop your heel and come on up, warrior one. We're going to flow with warrior one, circling the arms around as wide as you can get them and back down over that leg. Oh my goodness, I'm dripping sweat on my yoga mat. Mexico's hot. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. We'll go one more time. And this time, just reach your arms behind you or interlace your hands. Open your chest. Breathe here with this tall spine. Notice. And release your fingertips to the mat. Walk your hands to the wide straddle. Come to the middle of your mat, all of your toes pointing forward. Take a hold of ankles and gently pull yourself down. Sitting bone pointed to the ceiling. Head reaching to the earth. Nod your head yes, shake your head no. Be upside down. And release Release back up to a flat back, and we'll turn toward our left foot. So you'll be facing the back edge of your mat. Drop your back knee, find padding if that's your best friend. I don't mean use your best friend for padding. I mean, padding is your friend. Although you could do that too. Shift your hips back. Let's find that half split. Walk your hands forward a bit and point your toes down. Give your attention to what you feel in your foot, your ankle, your shin, your leg with pointed toes. Pull your toes back. Give yourself the attention there. What do you feel? What's different? Toes rotate inward and toes rotate out. Do all four. Again, point, flex, rotate in and out. Nice and slow. Observing the little things. And then shifting forward, we'll bend the knee, tuck your toes, and lifting up to drop the heel, we'll come on up to warrior one. Arms create a nice, slow, big circle around and down over the leg. One more time. And then reaching the arms behind you, you can stay just like this or interlace. Let your chest lift a little higher. Press your feet into the earth and breathe here. Release down over the leg. Let's come back to wide straddle, side of your mat. Take a moment to find where your feet feel most comfortable, and we'll pick up the toes and turn them out. Bend one knee and then bend the other. You can keep your arms straight, your spine long. Just alternate side to side. Come over to the left side. Bring your hands a little closer to your left foot. And then just pick up your right toe so you're on the back of your right heel. You can bring your elbow to the inside of this left knee and kind of lean onto your elbow a bit. Feeling this adductor stretch. Might feel good to let your hips sink a little. It might feel better to keep them up high. And lift to center, switching to your right side. Bend the right knee, pick up your left toes. And then just lean into your elbow with your right inner knee. Just give it a little bit of your weight and a lot of your breath. As we return back to center, turn all 10 of your toes straight to the edge of your mat. Come to a flat back for a twist. You might like to use a block here. The right hand, let's do the left hand down, right hand on the low back. And with the longest spine you can find, start to roll your shoulders toward the right side. Right shoulder over left. Kind of feel your way into this with your hips, your shoulders, your spine. And either stay here or lift the arm. powerful breath. And return to center, switching sides. Left hand on your back, spine long, rotate open. Go an inch farther just to see what's there, unless that causes some pain. It's okay to push the envelope a little bit and see what's there, as long as we're not forcing or causing sharp pain. Return to center. Walk your hands toward your right foot. Come to all fours and settle back again into child's pose. Knees really wide, head down. And then just listen. Listen to your body. Let that belly breath come back. Expansion, contraction. Bring your palms together, set your elbows on the mat, and then let your hands reach back behind your head. Noticing how that's different than regular child's pose. You can walk your elbows forward, pull your tailbone back. Profound breaths into your belly, your waist, your low back. All of your attention on what's happening now in your body. And release. Bring yourself back around into a seat. And once again, if you enjoy being up on a bolster or blanket, I recommend that for this next seated posture. We're going to move into Gomu Kasana. Another helpful tool here would be a strap or a scarf or a t-shirt if you have tight shoulders. All right, so we're going to start by bringing the left heel in close to the hips. So the left knee is bent, the right leg crossed over. And if that doesn't feel great to you, go ahead and extend that bottom leg and we'll see how that feels. That could be a good starting place for you, just letting that leg be straight. So with this top leg, we'll try to walk the foot out a little wider and see about stacking the knees a bit more on top of each other. And you can see that mine aren't exactly stacked. I have kind of tight hips, so yours might be stacked more or less than mine. Press into the earth with your sitting bones. Reach your fingertips down and reach up tall through the crown of your head. And then the left arm lifts high. Give yourself a pat on the back. The right arm comes up from below and your fingertips might touch. If they don't, you can grab your shirt. You have long hair, you can use your ponytail or grab a strap. Gently press your head into your forearm and breathe. A variation of this is bowing forward. So you could try that and just see if you have a preference for upright or folded. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, let your back arm release to the floor. The top arm extends tall, left arm up, and then let's create a twist here. So bring the back of your left arm to the top of your right leg, and then roll yourself open. Looking over your back shoulder, belly breath. And ease yourself back to center. Let's take this top leg off, and then we'll just lean back into the hands, feet wide, and windshield wiper your knees side to side. When you're ready, we'll go the other way. So your right leg can be extended or bent in toward your hip. It's a helpful tool to have that bottom leg straight forward, straight out in front of you, and then cross the bottom leg over. Sorry, top leg over, left leg over. This leg can stay up like this, but if you like, for a little variation, wiggle your feet out wider, wiggle your hips down into your cushion. See if you can feel both of those sitting bones on the earth. If that's not happening, you could also just lift this foot up off the ground. Lots of options. Reach tall through the crown of your head and sweep your right arm up. Give yourself a pat on the back. Left arm comes up from below. There's another little thing to pay attention to, the difference between sides. And without judging, making right or wrong, just notice. Your shoulders are doing two different actions here. And on the sides, they'll perform differently. Press back with your head. Deepen your breath. You can bow forward or stay upright. Notice your choice, your preference, what that does in your body. The little details. Release your back arm, tall spine, start to rotate toward the left side. Let the arm come to the outside of the knee. Once you find your twist, try closing your eyes and bring some belly breath into this posture. Expand and contract. Come back to center. Unstack your legs. Come to a seat and windshield wiper the knees again, side to side. Let yourself exhale. That's a posture that really has us twisted into pretzel shape. So your body really enjoys the unfolding. With your feet flat on the mat, grab the backs of your legs, lift tall, take a deep breath in, and then exhale, round your spine lower to the earth. Now, as you do, the knees rock in. Take a hold of each knee separately and move them differently. See if you can create kind of an egg beater or a figure 8 movement here. Creating movement in your hips. And then we'll finish with a figure 4. So let's plant the left foot on the floor, right ankle on the thigh, and then pull the legs in towards you. Now, a couple of choices here. One is to just pull the knees in with both knees bent. You might try straightening the bottom leg. And you might also try pushing the front knee away from you. Just explore in this shape. See if you have a preference. See if something interesting shows up in your body with one of those small changes. I strongly encourage you to take this on in your own practice. When you're in a shape, explore. Wait for the teacher to give you exact instruction, but rather let your body be your instructor. Play, wiggle, be curious, and you'll find something new every single time you come to your mat. Let's release and switch sides. Left ankle on the right knee, and then explore bent or straight, light pressure or firm pressure, movement or stillness. If you take this on in your practice, you will make my job easy. I will worry less about you getting injured if I trust that you're listening to your body. Because if we're listening to the whispers, they don't turn into screams. So what whispers do you notice here? Take one more deep breath in figure 4. And then release your feet to the mat. Extend your legs out to the corners of your mat and your arms wide off your mat. Turn your palms up, tuck your shoulder blades underneath you, bounce out your legs a little bit, and then close your eyes. Come back to a belly breath. Just a few exaggerated belly breaths before coming into a natural, easy relaxation breath. Fill up as much as you can, empty as much as you can. As you find your normal breath, another small thing you can do during Shavasana, if your mind starts to wander, is a mudra with your hands. So take a soft breath in, and as you exhale, let your thumb and forefinger touch ever so softly. Deep breath in, release. Exhale, thumb to middle finger. Inhale, release. Exhale, thumb to ring finger. Inhale, release. Exhale, thumb to pinky finger. You can continue that going back and forth if that helps you stay here, stay present. Let your body rest. Take in another belly breath. Breathe in as fully and completely as you possibly can. And let your mouth open with a sigh as you let that breath go. Wiggle your fingers. Wiggle your toes. Begin to stretch and wiggle your way to one side. Find your way back to a seat. And we'll turn our palms up here as we end this practice, ending with, I think, a very special and important mudra called Gyana Mudra. And it's just simply touching the thumb and the forefinger together, letting the other three fingers extend softly. And as we take this mudra, just close your eyes and imagine that your thumb represents your past. Everything behind you that brought you here today. And your forefinger represents the future. All that lies ahead of you. Press your finger and your thumb together with tiny pressure and notice the symbol of this present moment. This priceless moment in time. This breath. If we're not aware of the present moment, we have abandoned ourselves. We've abandoned our own life. So let this gesture remind you to be present today. Masks are coming off. We're seeing smiles again. We're hugging again. Notice the small things of coming back. Bring your hands together in front of your heart in this gesture of gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you for making time for yoga for yourself today. Namaste.